Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Friday at 11:38 a.m., April 23rd, and the markets are blood red. They're not pretty. What's going on? What the heck are we going to do about it? There's plenty of things to think about. There's always something to understand about the markets. And as I always talk about, it's the macro picture that matters. There's plenty of opportunities all over the place. It's not necessarily an opportunity to make gains. And that is the way I think about markets. We're not in this to make as much money as possible. What the heck are you talking about, Noah? I'm in this because to the moon. Yeah, stop that. When I figure out my time availability to set up either a Telegram group or a Discord group, we're going to talk real deal about the markets. We're going to understand the way these markets work. And it's not just about price action up and down, buy low, sell high, go to the moon. It doesn't work like that. You have to understand finances and macro finances and fiat systems and monetary policy. And that makes all the difference. You have to untrain your mind. And the market's been so perverted. And it's not just the crypto markets. It's the legacy financial system. It's a perverted system. It's a pervert. It's a naughty, naughty pervert. People trying to make easy money. No, work for your damn money. I work for my damn money. I have worked for my money. We work for our money. I guarantee you, everyone who's listening to me has a job. And if you don't have a job, you're probably looking for a job because that's what we do. We work and we save our money and we want to grow our money. We don't want to lose our money. I mean, yeah, sure, we want to catch an asymmetrically appreciating asset and make a lot of money. But damn, if you don't know how to manage your money, that money going to go bye-bye real quick. And that's why the core of my principles and the core of my content is how to manage money. If you make $1 million and you throw it into some crappy altcoin, you're going to lose 50% of it in the blink of an eye. Maybe you make 10 million. Maybe you get lucky. But unless you know how to manage money and create recurring revenue streams, which is what a lot of very interesting persons I follow on Twitter do with dividends and other legacy financial instruments, um, that's you're going to lose capital, and that's how you manage money and grow money is you make recurring revenue streams. We're going to do what legacy finance used to do historically when there was actually livable returns, actually reasonable and non-pathetic returns, 3, 4, 5% on your money. No, what the hell are you going to do with 3, 4, 5%? And clearly 0.02% in the bank account, you're basically screwed. Just saying. Damn well I'm talking the truth. Let's get this stream started. Market turmoil. How am I thinking of the markets? Episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social goods. Stop depositing on exchanges. Not your keys, not your crypto. Non-custodial DeFi or nothing at all. Bam. Let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. I got Alchemix. Bum, bum, bum. Rupert's in the house. What's up? Costco, my man. Noah. GitHub run through after rundown if possible. Yeah, we'll talk about GitHub. I'll talk about it right now. So GitHub is a source control management. It's infrastructure in many regards. It's the foundation of any software development project, whether it's GitHub, Bitbucket, and that uses Git. There's other types of source control management repositories such as Mercurial, Subversion, and whatever the developer's favorite project is. But GitHub shows you the hierarchy of the packages in a particular project. You got folders, you got files. The easiest way to analyze top down is not quantity of repositories. That doesn't tell you anything. What you want to look for is commits, commit history. You also want to look for the name and the author of the commits. You want to see if those names and authors are on other projects. I can't expect folks to dig into the Solidity or Viper contract logic. But there is a point where even looking into the logic is quite meaningful to understand what these developers are writing. High level, if you look in and you see that they're doing unique things to their project and not necessarily copying things from other projects, you got something novel on your hands and developers that actually have a capacity to write code and create new functions and features. And that's what we look for. And that's basically what the deal is with Alchemist. And that's from a source control perspective. There's other complexities: the narrative, the story, the social media, the Discord and Telegram conversations, and people have their fears and uncertainties and doubts, which I was very transparent with yesterday, which were resolved, and I have my opinion of our favorite four assets has changed slightly over the period of 24 hours. You know, aside from the technical factors, Alchemist is what I lean towards. Visor is improving in reputation in my eyes. Method's also improving in reputation, but it doesn't sit the same way as Alchemist and Visor. And so Visor obviously has developers. There's unique contributions to their code base. They're writing code. How well they do using the original Alchemist code base is fascinating because maybe they're just drawing on the original Alchemist code base as inspiration. Maybe they're not consuming it. So there's a lot of interesting things that I'm seeing and thinking about that alleviate questions that I've been contemplating. And clearly, X tokens on another level. Those boys know what they're doing and they have active development. Um, and when their monetary policy kicks in with a decent deflationary pressure, I have a high opinion of them. Now, bear in mind, we're going to talk macro financials today. We're going to talk the macro crypto assets because we got Bitcoin basically just ripped below this 100 SMA on the daily, M1 denominated, of course, because that's the only way we look at this thing. Anyway, let's keep it going. I hit on your topic, Costco. There's obviously more, and you're welcome to ask questions, and I'm happy to explain as best possible. But that's generally speaking what the deal is. Miss Hacker's in the house. Good morning. Derek, been a while. No, straight up, real talk. That's the name of the game. We do our best. Bunch of, you like that, right? Bunch of pervs, Josh. A bunch of pervs in the legacy financial system. That shit is crazy. Jish says 39.6 cap gains tax. Yeah. Listen, pay the tax. What's the alternative? That's a whole conversation unto itself. You're making money in the space. You make money. Listen, if you didn't have tax withholdings on your job and you make whatever, let's say you get a paycheck for, let's say you get a paycheck, no tax, and you're making like $2,000 a week. And could you imagine having to keep $700 and put it into a separate bank account at the end of the year? Pay them, was it 35, 50, 30, let's say 35,000. You literally had to cut the government a check for $35,000. So that's tax withholdings. You're paying the government, you're just not seeing the money. So yeah, the fact that people are frustrated about 30 whatever percent on cap gains, that's just because they have to cut a check at the end of the year. But that same phenomena exists with your actual paycheck from your work, just masked and hidden because of tax withholdings. Tiki's in the house. Lots of projects adopting Polygon now. M stable Aave. Do you foresee Polygon to take more market share than other L2 solutions? Bam! We're talking about probably what is informing in my mind as the most important concept I'm thinking about or narrative I'm thinking about. And let me get through some more comments. I want to circle back around to the Uniswap V3 narrative and what I'm honing in on as probably what I'm going to be focusing on more and how I'm handling that with regard to my portfolio, available capital to take on risk on positions, so on and so forth. That's why I follow you, sir, learning from the man himself, Miss Hacker. Thank you very much. VT Rally, what's the best move if cap gains go as high as these crooks? Pay them. Make money. I mean, seriously. Look, I got some cash going on Matic. That's what I'm talking about, Taiki. That's right. We got 17% base, and we got rewards coming in denominated in Matic. And I think, well, let me keep going, and I'll get back to Matic. Mike's in the house. Always a pleasure. Animus, my favorite YouTube crypto voice. My man. Carlos, my man Noah sold some assets that I love because the portfolio comes first. It hurt, but it was the right thing to do. I agree. Listen, you're going to sell an asset and it's going to be shit timing and it's going to go up and you're going to be like, I shouldn't have sold that asset. You're going to have the emotional response that you lost capital, but take a step back. Don't think about that emotion. Turn those dollars into revenue streams using Curve if you have a Curve position. Urine if you don't have a current position. Convex is coming out swinging with community boosted curve positions, and Polygon is really coming out swinging, and that's pretty much one of the two topics I want to get to after I get through commentary. Tax fear is real, my man. That's the deal. Costco sleuthing. Let's hop on the main screen and see who's in the stream. That's the deal, James. Greg, thank you. I appreciate it. Not a moose. I panic sold a lot of my top alts. Don't worry about panic selling. Now, clearly, markets could go down. What's the difference between panic selling being good or bad? Panic selling is good if you sold and it keeps going down. We don't know if it's going to keep going down. Technicals aren't a goddamn oracle. Oscillators are a manifestation of price action. Price action is all there is. And then the oscillators we look at in the technical charts give us hints and suggestions about trends and likelihoods and possibilities. They don't tell us jack squat if something's going to hold. You think when Bitcoin was down here at 2.62, which is like what, 47 and change in US dollar denomination, people were like, oh my God, it's going to break down. You sold. All right. So this is Bitcoin. This is why I treat Bitcoin outside the scope of the way I think about everything else. And I'll tell you guys the whole deal about how I'm handling this. Wait, you guys are paying taxes? Jason, my man. My man. We can talk about that. You can ping me and we'll talk about how I handle that. I pay my taxes, and there's a lot of strategy and thought involved in how to navigate the tax system. Chet's in the house, always a pleasure. ARP's in the house. By the way, Discord idea you forwarded yesterday sounds extraordinary. Yeah, I like Discord. I'm waiting on it rather than Telegram. I think the payments infrastructure is a little bit more robust, and I want to make it a paid tier because I don't want to give away free alpha. I mean, I guess that's the terminology. I don't really think about my ideology as alpha because obviously it's just the way I think about the markets. And as always, I hope it makes a difference to everyone to think about things differently, to have strategy, to have really a technique and tactic with handling capital, and just almost everything I talk about is the antithesis of what the prevailing market participants think of. We're talking about managing capital and not necessarily making as much capital gains as possible. We want to really shake it up and think about things differently. Bro, every time of the day I join in, my man James, I'll keep it up. Syrup's in the house. Jason, you're just kidding. But are you? I don't know. I'm not a CPA, but there's a lot of nuances to filing taxes, which I've become acclimated to because of relatively exorbitant tax bill. For instance, minting Bitcoin on Ethereum with RenBTC or WBTC. Yeah, there's countless CPAs that are not going to say that's a taxable event, and arguably it's a deposit. You're not converting BTC to RenBTC. You are depositing BTC, and they are giving you RenBTC. So there's a whole set of semantics and conversation that could be had about that, which is why it's completely gray area. Stacking, yo Noah, my man. Brendan, Urine and Bancor need to get a Polygon. They will. They're all going to want to. There's $700 million worth of liquidity flowing around on Polygon, and that's the deal. Close my rook on Bancor for $250 a gas. Yeah, Bancor's very sophisticated contracts that are quite expensive, which is why I just let my stuff sit, and I don't have any real volatile assets. I have my Bancor, but that's my core Bancor position, and it's growing. My interest is denominated in Bancor, and I have this small alpha position, which I kind of forgot about. I mean, this is even far below my risk on position sizing that I talk about. You know, like the 0.5%, 1%, 2%. Rick G's in the house. Stacking. Any concern of the safety of assets on Matic? Any concern of dollars in a bank account losing 15% per year? I will take risk. And if I can insure that risk, I will. And I'm going to pursue gains. Because if I don't pursue gains, we have nothing. There's literally zero chance at navigating the financial system, and which is why I have great sentiment and very empathy for a person stuck in a fiat world where you get a paycheck, dare you say you do payday loans. Persons are fucked. Straight up Robert Kiyosaki screwed. He says explicitly savers are losers. And that's really unfortunate. And that's why I do my stream. Because people are gambling, they're taking excessive risks, they're executing strategies that are not going to be effective because they're executing strategies that everybody else is executing and everybody else ends up messing it up. So we've got to do things differently. Montana, any luck with Visor? Yeah, Visor's cool. I like what I'm seeing on their Discord and their commit history. I'm seeing activity. I'm seeing novel code implementation. It's not as much as I'd like, but we'll probably see more about what they're doing um, approaching Uni v3 launch. And they're active on Discord. The primary developers that commit to the repos are moderators slash supervisors on Discord. So concerns in that regard have been alleviated. With regards to the viability of a potential good bet, that's another story. So let's get into that real quick. Noah, it looks to me that Bitcoin is forming lower lows. Last bull run, that was the sign of the bear market. Do you read differently? I'm not looking really at the Bitcoin price. I look at it in M1 denomination because I want to understand really whether we're bullish or bearish, but I don't care about the Bitcoin price. What I do with Bitcoin is I collateralize the shit out of it. I borrow dollars and I make money on my dollars. So Bitcoin, I treat it as a store of value. If I'm able to accumulate a bit more in Bitcoin, great. But I like dollars. Dollars make money. You throw your dollars in the curve, throw your dollars in the curve on Polygon, you're making some serious money, 17.4% on the base APY, which is your principal. And then again, I believe it's 40%. It's probably not loading because I'm not connected to Matic at the moment. Let's talk about the two topics. Let's talk about Alchemist, Visor, Method, and XDK for a second. So this is a prevailing narrative. There's two narratives that I'm focusing on for the short to midterm. First, Unify 3 launch. That's a big deal. So fundamentals tell you where to look, technicals tell you when. I don't like the breakdowns and the trend reversal. There's large holders that have been in this for a long time and they have massive positions. I posted yesterday an account that has a huge amount of method. Now, they might not be interested in liquidating, but if the price is depreciating and they made a lot of money, why wouldn't they liquidate or liquidate some? And that's exactly why you see wicks like this. Someone liquidated a fair amount. Honestly, this wick is me. I had a large position and that was liquidated. But so whoever liquidated this wick had 3 or 4 times the amount of capital that I had allocated to Alchemist. Can this build up again? Sure. You draw some technicals and let's see if this is a falling wedge of sorts. I hope it's not a descending channel. Let's take a look real quick. Bum, bum, bum. It's funny when trend formations emerge. This is a descending channel, boys and girls. Now, what you want to see, this is not a bullish trend formation. This is a bearish trend formation. But it's interesting when literally look at the price hit. It hit right on the channel. These trends are not just lines on a chart. They're patterns that are predictable and they're based on human nature and psychology. You're looking at a gross aggregate of market participant psychology. Literally, this people started buying and it coincided with this support line. It created the support line, and that support line created an overall pattern. So this is a bearish trend formation. The only way you play something like this is you could wait for the breakout, the retest, and the higher high, as I always talk about. So I have capital on the side. I moved a huge amount of capital over to Polygon, and I'm going back to my roots. I'm close to 50% cash at the moment. And I'm going back to my roots. I have about 5% of the portfolio available, a little bit over 5, available in cash, which I'll apply to risk-on assets strategically to make a good bet. If I could take, like 50 grand, 100 grand, and go a 10x on it, What the hell am I risking half the portfolio for? Go back to your roots. Take 1%, 2%, half a percent. You don't need to gamble and you don't need to take excessive risk. If you could turn 1% of your portfolio into 10% of your portfolio, you change everything. And in the meantime, all that cash is generating cash, monthly cash. Montana knows I cut this thing down because I'm out of Ethereum. I don't need it at the moment. Once I see us break our previous higher high and we regain significant bullishness, I'll be back in. I'll liquidate cash, but I need a significant reason to liquidate cash. Look what I said. Liquidate cash. Cash is an investment. Either cash is outperforming or an asset is outperforming. Right now, with the charts and the bearishness, dollars are outperforming crypto assets. Thus, dollars have become the better investment in the short term. Once prevailing bullishness sets in, you can allocate capital. Don't watch your capital evaporate. You work too hard for your capital. So Polygon's catching my eye. And I took risk off the table. I still have a large method locked position, which is very nice because that was just free method. I have like 30,000 locked up, which is nice. Visor, I don't have anything locked up. XTK, I got locked up as well that I got from emissions, which is wonderful. I have, so because I don't have a position advisor and Alchemist at the moment, my eyes are on the technicals. Visor's in a falling wedge, I believe, if it retains my drawings that I drew. Yep, very nice. I'm liking this DEX tools. This is actually quite nice, pulling up Uniswap charts. So there's a falling wedge. That's a bullish trend formation. Technicals, as we say, fundamentals tell you when to look. Technicals tell you when. Chart. Nope. Boop. So you play it the way you play everything. Break out to the upside, retest, higher high. Take a position at 320, watch it rip the 420, sell it, and you just capitalized on a transfer of value from new participants to you being an older participant. You were the smart money, you got in, and you were able to capitalize on new money getting in. That's the way these assets work. It's a vicious cycle, and it's old money capitalizing on new money, and they're sharks. And folks might say I have a large portfolio, but no, they're freaking sharks out there that will take my shit unless I am smart and I understand how they're thinking, and I think the same way in many regards. And you have to protect yourself because otherwise they will take your money. They call Ethereum the dark forest for a reason. There's wolves out there. Peter says my local payday loan office has a Bitcoin ADM. Stacking Noah, not sure you have checked it out, but liquidity is definitely worth your time to inspect. Think of it as Pursuit's version of MakerDAO. Possibly. I'm not looking into any new protocols at the moment. Jason says when payday loans became illegal in a few states, they rebranded it as short-term mortgages. It's a knowledge issue more than anything. Financial freedom is an abstract concept for most. Well said. Noah, it looks to me that Bitcoin is forming lower lows. Good. I caught up to the commentary. Rupert says, fuck, the best term so far, liquidate cash. Great way to think about it. Cash is an investment. You're purchasing cash using an asset as your source of value. You want to own the things that are outperforming. In a bear market, the dollar's outperforming. It's a better investment. Now, over time, under normal financial conditions, assets will outperform due to monetary debasement. But there's actually a scenario that the contrarian macro thinkers often talk about. Stephen Van Meter, Brent Johnson, so on and so forth. There's a time when the dollar is the only investment, and that's under a deflationary event. So, you got to follow them. You got to follow Stephen Van Meter because if anyone's going to be the sportscaster for a deflationary event, it's that boy. He's the person you want to go to know if we're in such a scenario. Other than that, I'm looking to capitalize. Well, bear in mind, we're in crypto, we're in dollars. Tell everyone to own dollars. Dollars are underestimated. listen, my interest, this isn't dollars. This interest is in Curve, which is a potentially asymmetrically appreciating asset. That's exactly what I want. Because you folks are afraid of dollars because they fear not making enough, or they're missing out on Doge going 20 bajillion percent. That's FOMO. You feared missing out. But the fact that you can get 30% on your money, 50%, 45%, 67%, this is something that your parents or your grandparents could have never imagined. This right here, to crypto people and to kids entering the crypto space, seems boring. This is revolutionary. And where the capital comes from is an entire topic unto itself with the current monetary policy and their digital fiat that they created, complete with inflation, deflation, velocity, incentivized supply disruption, and wonderful feedback loops that prevent debasement. Digital fiat, how about that? I'm talking about these crypto assets in terms of a fiat currency, just like the dollar, just like the euro, just like your favorite local fiat. Look at these things like they're cash, because they are. And if you look at the Forex market and you look at whatever fiat you choose, it's either going up or down relative to the dollar. Change your point of reference. Broaden your broaden your understanding of these systems. Compare them metaphorically and actually to legacy financial structures, and you will gain leverage. You will gain alpha and how to navigate these markets and make them more profitable. So look, if you're making 67% on your money and you're working every week and you're taking a portion of your paycheck and you're saving it, you're growing your wealth by 67% per year. It changes everything. Everything. Compound is making moves. That's right, Igor. Compound's talking about their own chain to facilitate cross-chain interop. FTX and Sushi is going to be making moves. They got Sushi up on plenty of chains. I don't think Sushi is going to drive the velocity that I talk about. Aave and is really the source of monetary velocity. Compound is as well. But the combination of Aave and Curve on Polygon, yeah, that's crazy. No, that's crazy. So I got what is that? 35, 40% of all my capital right now is on Matic, and it's cranking out 17% APY plus the incentivized returns from what they supplied to the pool, what Matic supplied to the pool. Now you could go directly to Aave if you want, but this is between Curve and Matic and Aave. This is going to jumpstart the engine. Think of an IC engine, and think of liquidity as gas. So you got the gas, you got the engine, which is Matic, Polygon, and now all you need is the destination. And the destinations are the DApps, the platforms migrating over to Polygon. Now, they've spent the last year and a half building stuff on Ethereum. Porting to Polygon is an effort, but all that was needed was incentive. And now Polygon has incentivized the crap out of the sources of liquidity to draw in hundreds of millions of dollars worth of liquidity, which is going to incentivize the protocols to port, to capitalize, and get access to gains. They themselves make gains. This is the start of how the monetary velocity is jump started, and Matic has it. If you wanted to see where Matic's going, just look to Binance Smart Chain. And if you want to maybe speculate on how good or quality the network will be, Binance Smart Chain, it's not just the Wild West. If anything, fine, it's comparable to DeFi Summer 2020. But Matic, you're going to have the platforms on Ethereum port. You're not going to have pancakes and whatever second-rate developers are building on that platform. You're going to have the titans of industry. Bancorp porting, Balancer porting. I mean, already Aave ported, which is arguably one of the largest titans of industry. In 10 years' time, they're going to be one of the largest banks on the planet. I mean, Cresco Fin is going to just funnel hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars of capital into Aave. It's crazy. Capital and liquidity, I would argue, is a precursor to activity, meaning velocity. Aave could fill up with for $500 billion worth of liquidity, and it might just sit there. But that's the fuel in the gas tank. And what happens is developers see that fuel in the gas tank and they want to capitalize on it. So they offer incentive systems and protocols for people to participating in using the fuel in Aave's gas tank. And bam, you got the jump start, the kickover of the IC engine, and the start of the monetary velocity. That's the way it works. Heirloom, I thank you. I appreciate it. I hope it helps. Would you show us exactly how to get capital on the current Polygon? Yes, I could do that real quick. You go to Matic. Oh, nope. You go to Matic Web Wallet 2, wallet.matic.network. I'm not on Polygon. I might have to sign. Oh, no. You go to matic.wallet.2 and you click the Move Funds to Matic button. So you want to move funds to Matic, the Move Funds to Matic button is what does it, surprisingly. Surprisingly. It's not that bad. It's pretty simple. That's it. So you need Matic over there. So I would argue you transfer like 5 Matic, and then you could transfer whatever you want. There's good liquidity for Ethereum, great liquidity for the stable coins. So that's where you're going to want to head. And the question is, what are you going to do over there? Now, there's no DApps. At least there's rudimentary DApps, but you're not talking about like Alpha Finance and other fancy stuff. There's no Yearn, but you got Curve and Aave, which I tell you it all the time on Ethereum, Curve and Aave. On Ethereum, Curve and Aave. I'm trying to shout to high heavens. And the two most incredible projects that drive monetary velocity in the DeFi space have just ported from Ethereum to Polygon. Ah! So you're like, what am I going to do on Polygon? Curve and Aave. And 20% gains on your principal and 40% incentives to dominate a Matic. It's not 2,000, 5,000% overnight. It's not free money. And that's where we have to try and retrain ourselves. Go to work, save your money. And where are you going to save it? In a bank account getting 0.2%, losing 15% a year? Or are you going to put it in something that's giving you 30, 40, 50% on your money, and you could actually get somewhere? You could actually save and grow and pursue retirement like a normal human being, not locked in this ridiculous fiat system where you're screwed. And sure, that's what you want to grow your wealth. That's where you take 1-2% of your money and you make strategic bets. If you turn 2% of your money into 20% of your money, it changes. And then once you figure out how to take those small bets and make those asymmetric returns, you'll find that you're making few trades. And look, I've only found a couple of opportunities that have stuck with me over the years. The first one was Synthetics, Kyber, and Bancor in March of 2020 when everything collapsed. The second one that made cash was Rook. I hit the narrative. And the third one is the Uni V3 launch, which is imminent. But because of the bearishness in the market, I'm not taking the risk. It's not worth it. So I took out the large capital and I have a portion of capital that is suitable to my investment thesis and ideology available to apply where the fundamentals tell me to look. And the fundamentals tell me to look at the Uni V3 narrative and watch for ridiculous price action. As of right now, it's not. As of right now, it's bearish. As of right now, there's large holders of these assets that are looking to dump. They're going to dump when the price is going up. They don't want to collapse the asset because the asset is a money machine. They want to wait for the market to convince new entrants to participate. And that time has a very nice, attractive time horizon. It's not years in the making. It's not, it's a 2-3 weeks in the making. So that's why you don't have to sit back and hope for something. You just have to wait 2-3 weeks and watch the technicals. The technicals will tell you when. That's the deal. Let me try and get some comments. It looks like I missed a bunch. Syrup Locker, I can't believe under 100 people are watching this. My man, I appreciate that. Numbers have been bumping lately, which I really appreciate, and I hope it helps. It's, as much as it's nice for me, I'm excited and enjoy what I do. It's all started to help folks to not lose a fortune on Doge. God, why would you play SafeMoon? The risk of putting value on Binance Smart Chain and just watching your value go down in a bear market or even a short-term bearish depreciative cycle. Just don't sit back and watch 20% be taken away from your capital. That's not fair to yourself. 79 people in the stream, 36 likes. We can do better. Quantified. Hey, Noah, thinking on taking a position advisor breakout and also building my existing Matic position. Any thoughts on the percentage for allocation? It's not for me to say. That's for you to determine. Advisor on the breakout. You wait for the breakout, the retest, and the higher high. So the reason you do this is because when you get past the higher high, there's a higher likelihood than less that other market participants will see this and continue to purchase, which means there's a higher likelihood than less that the price action will keep going up. When the price action keeps going up, optimally, you should be selling on the way up. 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%. You don't have to ride it to the top. If you could capitalize on price appreciation going up, you are winning. If you could avoid losses on the depreciative side of the trade and you win 51% of the time, now you're talking about like casino logic. All you have to do is win 51% of the time and you're going to grow your money asymmetrically. I wouldn't take a Matic position for me. What I do is I provide dollars and I'm given Matic for free. Food for thought. Matt B, yes, I'm here. Always a pleasure. Whoa, you guys are talky. I like this. We're definitely going to have to get some sort of Discord or Telegram going. Allegiance says Noah clickbait thumbnails and he doesn't produce FOMO. Noah's content isn't made for the YouTube algo. Yeah. Thank you for finding me because apparently I'm not. I'm not. I'm just not made for the clickbait, and I don't care. It's I do what I'm trying to make a difference, and then, there's a lot of good YouTubers. Chico does a lot of good content, and there's not many people that do good content. But he obviously has turned his enterprise into a full-on business, which I would like to do. But in the end, I've learned in life that I have to speak what's on my mind and do what I know how to do. And I grow and I'm evolving, and there's things that I'm doing like the office hours, so on and so forth. And it'll grow organically, but I'm not going to force it. I'm sure as hell not going to do BitBoy bullshit. That's just pathetic. Um, Preach critical mass, yes. Let's keep it going. Just curious, whatever happened to Digibyte? Digibyte looks good. It's a max volatile asset, and there's no deflationary pressures. All you have is basically a decaying inflationary asset, just like Bitcoin. It's not bullish, technically, and that's what's most. Oh, wrong chart. We need history, so we got to go back to Bittrex. It's not bullish. One, it's not over the 200 SMA on the weekly. Two, it didn't breach a higher high. So not only was the breakout a failure, it didn't retest nor print a higher high. So there's nothing wrong with Digibyte. Digibyte is one of my favorite UTXO assets, which has arguably the best UTXO properties in the entire crypto space. Fundamentals tell you where to look. Technicals tell you when. Technicals say this is not an investable asset. That has nothing to do with the extensive conversations that I can have about the merits of Digibyte and the UTXO protocol properties. I'm more than an advocate. I talk with the team on a frequent basis. It's a wonderful, wonderful UTXO protocol. But I'm not going to lose money applying value to it. That's right, critical mass. Digibyte will be fine. You're right. But whoever bought Digibyte at the top here is down. So Digibyte will be fine because fundamentals told that person where to look. But whoever bought Digibyte at the top just lost 25% of all their money. So pretty sure that person didn't feel so good. Jaden just said, just migrated to Polygon myself. Yeah, it's a dream. It's basically free transactions. Jason, I remember when we worked together, you had so much Digibyte, but I see you liquidated it. Man, this was like 2017, 2018. It was a completely different story going on. I haven't had Digibyte in a significant portfolio amount since maybe early last year, pre-March. March changed everything. I'm telling you guys, DeFi changed everything. And it introduced me to ideology and concepts and macro financials that I never thought about. And the space has changed forever. My mindset has changed forever. And you all need to evolve as well, based on every piece of information you encounter and learn. And your story, define your narrative, understand the system in your own way, and incorporate ideas that you exposed to, especially from me and many from others. um, like I watch Chico ever so often. I saw him talk about Alchemist. It didn't pique my interest. I found Alchemist because I was digging into V3 and the documentation, and it's basically the same thing that he showed on his stream with that third-party providers are going to handle vault management. It's basically like a hedge fund. These NFT vaults basically would be like a hedge fund. So I found it by myself. I don't really follow many. I don't follow anyone. I write. I chart my own path. Something like that. Anonymous. Digibyte is a slow process, but a strong one. Digibyte will be yes. So that's important. Digibyte has critical mass decentralization. It has longevity, which means whatever the hell happens, it'll be here. But I'm not going to lose, as you can see here, 25% of my capital, thinking that the fundamentals mean everything. Someone who just believed in fundamentals and bought this because it's the best UTXO blockchain, which I just stated and will probably always state, it's got the best UTXO properties. But I'm not going to lose 25% of my money because it has the best UTXO properties. Carlos, when your Matic wallet receives funds, you will get 0.01 Matic to pay for gas. Boom. That's the deal. When I transferred USDT to Matic, there was automatically a little bit of Matic in my wallet. Yep, as Carlos said. QuickSwap is a uni clone on Polygon. The gas prices are lower. The gas prices are basically zero. You can have one Matic, and you'll have 100 times as many transactions than Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain is like expensive compared to Matic. It's really crazy. Angel said, got here late, so Curve and Aave moved to Polygon. Yes, big deal in my opinion. Josh, it helps. I hope it. Thank you. I hope it does. Heirloom, smash the likes, get the word out. How to maneuver these markets. 79 people in the stream, 39 likes. We can do better. Glabro says, "No, you're my rich dad." I've done well, and now my goal is to protect it and to grow it, because sure as hell no, I owe a crap load of taxes. Waiting for the Discord, Miss Hacker. Yeah, I like it, but I get off this call and I got so much stuff to do. I got some complexities I'm dealing with. John says we want Discord, work together with like-minded DeFi folks with Noah as the moderator. Right? No mo FOMO. Greg, what do you think about Nexus? Nexus? Don't know what it is off the top of my head. Rick G, subscriber 147, HMU with the Discord. Yes. Bobak, any thoughts on Dracula Protocol? Do not know anything about it, but if it's sucking the blood out of other protocols, hey, maybe I'll take a look. Pretty good. What else? What else? So the hot assets that are on my mind for Ethereum mainnet is the Uni V3 narrative. Fundamentals tell you where to look. Technicals tell you when. I lean towards Alchemist, watching for the trend. Obviously, Visor is in a falling wedge, which is a bullish trend formation. Alchemist is in a uh, uh, descending channel, which is a bearish trend formation, but you play it the same way. You play a falling wedge, watch for the breakout, retest, higher high. XTK and method, I have emissions that I held, but that doesn't count as a position. So don't misconstrue that for me actually having capital allocated. Otherwise, the most interesting thing, and what I would argue, is the probably a bigger narrative than Uni V3 launch is Matic, because we're talking about monetary velocity and we're talking about potentially the precursor infrastructure components that launch DeFi, launch BSC, and now are available on the Polygon network, which is basically $800 million worth of liquidity and the capacity to swap in and out of any stablecoin pair you'd like. That's everything. How else could you sell your Ethereum? How else could you buy your Ethereum? How could you do anything if you don't have the base pairs? And that's what's available. The base pairs, the dollars, the stable coins, and the Ethereum. Because if you look at Uniswap, every damn thing is paired with Ethereum. These boys have no idea how to manage downside and protect the downside with dollar stablecoin pairings. Albeit WBTC USDC is a hot pair on Uni. It's basically a cash printer, but that's not for me. I rather collateralize my Bitcoin and accumulate it. So that's just my narrative. But there's plenty of people that will even take, a protected position using Bitcoin with that kind of pool pairing, protect the downside, expose the upside, and get your dividend returns like a traditional financial investments. Mickey, what do you think about WCRAS? Wonderful. So I have such a small position that I bought for $450 that's worth like $3,000 or $4,000 at this point, that I just don't touch it, and I don't think about it often. It has a very small market cap and could potentially be one of the largest banking components in the world. Yeah, that's just something to set and forget. A couple $100, and $400 turns into $500,000 in 5 years. Yay! We win. Also, Discord would be great. Yeah, I like the idea too. Just time is a big burden. All right. Thank you, everyone. All 74 people of you. I really appreciate it. Friday, 12/24, April 23rd. We've covered some great topics. Enjoy your weekend. I'm on Twitter. My content keeps flowing. So, as always, tell everyone to subscribe, and I will catch you on Monday. Peace.